mentioned that this class is from 12 to 6 p.m.
No, no, 12 to
I'm just
3.
kidding. I'm just paying attention. I'm see if you're paying attention. Okay. Okay. So this is an orientation and overview. I think Dr. Manzano already mentioned what's the course all about, the schedule. And since this is my first time meeting you, it's appropriate for me to introduce myself. And I know you've introduced yourself to Dr. Manzano, but I would like to also know you. I see some familiar names from Trinity University of Asia, so welcome in this class. So since let me start the ball rolling by introducing myself. So let's start off with my work experience. My name is again Dr. Fernando Trinidad. You can call me Pong. And prior to my teaching career, I used to be an entrepreneur. And right now, I'm connected with Trinity University of Asia as the Dean of the College of Hospitality and Tourism. Um, I earned my doctorate degree at Letran Colegio de San Letran in Intramuros. And as I mentioned earlier, until now, I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm into real estate, uh, school, academe, and publishing in terms of books. I'm also into events management. We have events management company, and of course, we also have this real estate focusing more on the residential. So that's my experience in terms of work. Now, in terms of educational background, since this is an academe, um, I started my preschool to college in the University of the Philippines. Yes, I'm a public school product. And then the first time I had my master's, I took my master's in entrepreneurship at the Asian Institute of Management. That was 1999 to 2000. 2001, yes. It's an 18-month MBA focusing on entrepreneurship. And then several years after, around 2008, 2009, I took another master's in international marketing at Boston University, and then had my second master's at Harvard University taking business management. And as I mentioned earlier, I had my doctorate degree at Colegio de San Juan de Letran Intramuros. I think I completed 2017. So relatively, I'm a new doctor. And for personal background, as mentioned earlier, I'm currently connected at Trinity University of Asia. I consider myself avid traveler, global educator, entrepreneur, God center. As of the moment, I am holding the position as the Dean of the College of Hospitality and Tourism Management. And unlike Dr. Manzano, he's happily married. I'm still enjoying my singleness. Uh, so that's the big difference between Dr. Manzano and myself. So that's me in a nutshell. I would like to also know you. Probably let's give several minutes since we will be together for the next few months. So I want to know you. Probably just a very brief information, your name, where are you working, and how long are you working in that company, and probably why are you taking MBA? Okay, so probably let's start off with someone that I know and very one of my colleague, architect of Zoom. Maybe you can start, and then after architect of Zoom introduce herself, she will call a name from the list of the class, and we go forth until everyone is called. Okay, so architect of Zoom, you have the floor. Introduce yourself.
Okay, do I need to? Anyway,
Yes.
yes, alam na nila lahat eh, sir eh. Okay. So anyway, yung hindi na lang nakakaalam. So
Yes.
I'm architect of Zoom And currently, I'm working at Trinity University of Asia. It's already my fifth year. So yung birthday ko last September 4, that's also the date of my fifth year here at Trinity University of Asia.
Belated happy birthday.
Yes. Thank you. Then ano pa ba 'yon? Why did I took the MBA? Wala,
Mm-mm.
wala, just to broaden more on the management, to be
Yes.
more helpful and on the university side and even on the personal uh, growth of my educational achievements 'yon. Sana nga matapos ko 'to. 'Yon. So short lang ha, oh. Next naman si Miss Lovely Mendoza.
Ayan, another
Yan,
colleague of
another
ours.
colleague.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Miss
yes.
Lovely, you have the cloud.
Yes.
Hello, good afternoon, Diane. Good afternoon, everyone. So, my name is Lovely Mendoza. I'm also currently working sa Trinity University of Asia, but I'm from the accounting department. So, I've been working in Trinity for 2 years, and then I decided to take up MBA for personal growth as well when it comes to education. So hopefully we get to enjoy this class also with Din Pong. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Lovely. So you can feel free to call anyone.
Mr. June McKilling, please.
Okay, Sir June, you have the floor.
Uh, Good noon, Doc. Good noon, classmates. Everyone knows me. I'm June. So my full name is Christian June Makiling. Currently working in the government, National Irrigation Administration, with the position of Project Evaluation Officer 3 from the Corporate Planning Services. My job is collaboration or example partners with the Department of Budget and Management and the Congress with regards to budget proposal. So currently in schedule for process for budgeting for the next fiscal year 2022. So medyo busy na yon kasi many queries regarding budget proposal of NIA, which is amounting to 40 billion, and we are under the Department of Agriculture, which is the agency is much pressure because our current chairman is the president of the Philippines, which is Bongbong Marcos. So why I take up, sir, MBA? I'm currently on the supervisory position, sir. So I much want to enhance or learn more knowledge in managerial skills and further enhance my skills or learn from Trinity, sir. So, thank you po, Doctor.
Thank you, Sir Christian. It's nice knowing you and someone from representative from Department of Agriculture. Okay, Sir Christian, would you like to call
Yes, sir.
anyone from your classmates?
I would like to acknowledge Ma'am Joanne Blanco po.
Okay, Miss Joanne, you have the cloud.
Hi, good afternoon, Doc. Good afternoon, classmate. My name is Joanna Blanco. I'm executive assistant in a BPO company. I graduated my bachelor's degree in communication arts at Colegio de San Juan de Letran. Uh, Actually, Doc, you're familiar. I believe you're in HRM, Hospitality Management Department.
Yes, under CHTM in the trans. Small world, Miss Joanna.
Yes po.
It's nice to see you again.
Let me just open my campus. See po. Right, and yeah, I decided to take MBA to have better career opportunities po. And,
Thank you, Joanna. And it's a reunion for us. You can call anyone from your classmates.
Mr. Archie Basilio.
Okay, Mr. Archie, you have the cloud.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Arsenio Basilio, or everybody calls me Archie.
Archie.
I am currently the CEO of software or technology solutions company, which I also own. I also own another company, a real estate company. So I'm the COO naman doon. Also, I am currently working for the government, not with the government, for. I am a highly technical consultant for the National Vaccine Program
Mm.
under the ICT. So we designed, rolled out, trained, and maintained. And as of now, I am governing the whole of the vaccine information management system for the COVID-19. So from the systems that are being used by the LGU, which we also rolled out, up to the systems that are used to do the inventory, even your vaccine certificate. So your VaxCert PH portal, we designed that and we maintain that and we roll it out. So under my watch now is the whole of the service delivery. So all the anything about product support and citizen support and infra and IT operations I handle. My previous background for that kasi is I've been handling government projects since 2009. Started with Smartmatic,
Mhm.
handled the National Support Center, and then handled three elections moving then on up to 2016. Then after that, handled couple more government projects. Most are digitization projects, so like SSS and others. On the side, as a hobby, just kidding. As a hobby, I do management consulting. So we prep companies to become ISO or be compliant with ISO. Well, one of my major clients is Rustans and a university that is owned by a mall.
And you.
Uh, I can either confirm or deny. So it was a three-man team. I handled all of everything about administration, operations, and the likes, and re-engineered their processes and manuals, including their structure. Because that university targets to open 20 campuses in the next 10 years.
Mm,
So the objective is make it a plug and play like a mall type. They
mm,
build the mall, operate it. Don't need to bring in people to train you. Just read the manual.
mm.
That's the objective. So it's a bit successful in a way, and many more, and a lot of stuff. So
Yes.
why I took MBA because it's part of my self investment goal.
Yes.
We always invest in other stuff, business and others, but we should never forget in investing ourselves. I graduated my second degree in Trinity, which is public administration. Then
Oh,
right after that,
congratulations.
yeah, I was one of the ones who marched this year.
Yes.
Kasi I
ICC June
Yes,
20.
yeah,
nakita ko siya dun, sir.
correct.
Nakita ko siya.
Because I finished 2021. So
Ah,
and then right after that, I enrolled the MBA program. I
right.
was supposed to take up law, pero after taking up public ad and doubling it with the majors of real estate management, I realized I can't memorize anymore that much. So kaya sige MBA na lang tayo and then proceed with doctorate degree most probably. All right, so that's me.
Thank
Uh,
you, Sir Archie. It's a very interesting. It's nice to have you here in the class. And just a quick note, you know, in the evolution of education, yes, it's
mhm,
true. Before 1960s or earlier, the evolution of education was more on memorization. But
correct.
with the era when I think Google, YouTube, Yahoo, when they introduced these companies introduced, they eliminated memorization. So the direction of the education should be more on um, interpreting datas, how you
Data
manage.
analytics.
Yes, data
Yeah,
analytics,
that's what we do.
and that's really, like, for instance, to those who are big fan of Jeopardy. 24 years ago, you might be a big fan, since that person might be knowledgeable in terms of memorizing. But a 7-year-old with a phone and with equipped with Google can beat
Correct.
any champion in Jeopardy. Jeopardy.
Exactly.
So what's the point of what I'm saying? This subject, especially in this context of production and operation management, it used to be a memorization subject. There are terms, there are jargons, but I will try to make it a point that it's more on learning from the success and failure of a company. So my style would be more on case studies. Um, so that will be exciting for everyone, since you will be working as a group. I will tell more about it in a while. So, Sir Archie, thank you. Can you name any of your classmates? Next.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you. I name Melanie Rayo next. Thank you.
Okay, Miss Melanie, you have the cloud.
Hi po, good afternoon. Thank you, Sir Archie. My name is Melanie Rayo. You can call me Lani or Mel. I'm currently working in Quezon City as office engineer and at the same time, officer in charge. And I handling three companies. One is the construction and the two is the leasing company. One of our major tenant is the McDonald's in UN Ave and Buendia. I took MBA. Actually, sir, it's my boss decision. Inutusan niya ako, sir, na mag-aral ulit. So, but as I take the MBA, it seems that I need this for my personal growth
Yes,
and for further enhance my skill po. Yun lang, sir.
I totally agree with you, Miss Melanie. Normally, MBA is for personal growth and networking. You get to meet wonderful, esteemed individuals as well. So
Yes.
you're creating your network as well. So, Miss Melanie, any can you name the next who will present or introduce?
Sige, si groupmate namin, si Miss Margaret.
Okay, Miss Margaret, go ahead.
Ayan, thank you, Ma'am Melanie. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Mary Ann Margaret Helia po, nurse by profession po, and currently working po in a pharmaceutical company. But I in a medical side po. I am currently working as a diabetes nurse educator, but it's been running for 7 years na po as a DNE or diabetes nurse educator. So my agency give me this opportunity to be enrolled in MBA for future success po and syempre career growth since I am eyeing po for the supervisory position po. Ayan. So, yun po, Doc. Thank you po. And for the next one po, si Janelle na lang po. Ayan.
Okay, Sir Janelle, you have the floor.
Hi, good afternoon, Doc. Good afternoon, classmates. So, I am Marella Janelle Gitering. You can call me Janelle. I am a registered pharmacist and I am currently working as a clinical reviewer in an American pharmacy benefit manager and healthcare provider. I am currently working here for over a year. So, I decided to take MBA because I believe that education is one of the greatest investment
Hmm.
and also for career advancement. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Janelle. Anyone you would like to call?
Um, I would like to call on Miss Amy Flores.
Miss Amy Flores, you have the cloud.
Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Doc. Yes, I'm Amy Flores, working as Division Secretary for Operations at Center for Educational Measurement. I take MBA for personal and career growth.
Ma'am, can you say that again? Where you're working?
Center for Educational Measurement.
Center for Education. Okay. Thank you,
Yes,
Miss Amy.
to provide testing service for both public and private school assessments.
Oh, testing. I know these are like elementary, high school, college students.
Different range, sir, from
Okay.
grade school to college, you can have it.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Amy. Who
I
would you
would
like to
like
call
to call
next?
Mr. Ravender Shin.
Miss Ravinder. Sir, you have the cloud. Go ahead.
Hello. Yep. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ravinder. You can just call me Ravi. I graduated with a degree in computer engineering
Mhm.
way back in 2018. So currently, I'm working as a senior systems engineer. So it's more on the technical side,
Mhm.
IT systems, something like that. And I took MBA because I wanted to engage in business and learn more on the management and non-technical side. So that's what I'm hoping to achieve. And yep, that's all for me.
Thank you, Sir Ravinder. I think that's a very good combination between technical and business aspect. We will study most of the cases that makes it effective and efficient structure for a company. Okay, so Ravinder, would you like to call someone?
Yes, I would like to call Miss Shanglin.
Shanglin? Go ahead, Miss Shanglin.
Good afternoon, Doc. I'm Xiangling, and my English name is Lisa. Now, I haven't some work because of COVID-19. I just stayed the Philippines for the MBA. Why I did the MBA? Because I want to have more opportunities to under work in the future.
Okay, thank you, Shanglin. Where are you right now, Miss Shanglin? Are you in the
The
Philippines?
yeah, in the Manila, the Malate, Pasay.
Okay, okay. I think your signal is a little.
Sorry, Doc. Maybe the internet not good.
Yeah. But you can hear us clearly. You can hear
Yes,
us clearly.
yes, no
Okay.
problem.
Thank you, Miss Shanglin. Who would you like to call next?
I don't know, maybe the thing or
Anyone who's not called yet? Miss Anne, are you there? Queely Anne? Or Miss Haljin Sun? Are you guys there? Okay, probably they have an internet connection problem. Maybe one of these days, Ravager can help them connect in terms of connection. Okay, so may I ask who among here is their first time, or everyone already attended from the very first night of the month of August? Anyone who's the first time here attending this class? Can you show of hands? So I assume that everyone already attended your previous session. Now, just to be in the same page, let me just do a quick overview. Just very, very quick, since Dr. Manzano already introduced. So again, this is Production Operations Management, MBA 209. And Dr. Manzano mentioned about the course coverage and requirements. And today is September 17, and we're currently doing some of the reports, which will give the floor or the cloud later. So here's the timeline for the semester. We are going to end by January 2023. Please take note on the important dates. This will be posted in our TLC, so you can use this as your reference. So end of dropping is October 28th. I hope no one of you will drop. Final examination will be January 3 to 7, and then encoding of grades from January 10 to 13. So we will be celebrating the Christmas season together. Now, as a course description, it provides the students in business and management an advanced understanding of the concept, techniques in planning, production, operation of a firm. The course likewise enhances the perspectives on how to arrive at a decision in a manner upon which the type and quality of product to produce, taking into consideration the market and the resources capability of the firm. Now, the learning outcomes simply says we apply the functions, role of production management, enhances skills in production management, determine alternative methods of operations for efficient use of resources, discuss function strategies needed for goal achievement, and develop critical thinking and perseverance. This is a very dynamic group. We heard from your background, some of you are entrepreneurs, some of you works in the government, some of you works as a consultant, some of you is a licensed nurse, pharmacist. So every single, even IT. So this class is more on interactive. I'm looking forward to your experience. Okay, so I want you to share your experience in terms of operation and production management. You would like to see different perspectives coming from the medical, academic, commerce, IT, among others. Now, here are some of the topics that will be covered in this course. So we are going for today. Based on my understanding, Dr. Manzano mentioned that he already assigned some topics. So for today, September 17, we are going to listen from two of our reporters, operation strategy and forecasting, and then then total quality management, design of goods and service, process and capability design, site selection, people and work system, layout design, inventory for independent and dependent demand, just in time, and supply chain management, which is very important in our e-commerce, project scheduling, and maintenance management. Now, Dr. Manzano mentioned this in the previous classes in terms of operation strategies, so we will not dwell that anymore. And then he mentioned about some of the pertinent points when it comes to different topics. Like, for instance, one of our reporters will be discussing forecasting. So our reporter will mention about the importance and how do business implement approach forecasting, and what are the different methods of forecasting and how they applied by firms, among others. By the way, we also practice academic of freedom, so we can also expand the topics that is related to your topic assigned. Okay, so do not just be focus and limit from these topics as well. Okay, and then next week, I mean next week, I do understand that next week will be asynchronous. So next week, 2 weeks from now, we are going to talk about total quality management. So whether you are in the academe, the food service, hospital, even in production, there's also a total quality management. So in this module, the reporter will present the application of TQM in different firms, how firms diagnose problems about quality, what is the importance of TQM among the firms, and what are the different quality awards and accreditation recognized worldwide, and what is their importance. Now, to those who are reporting to kindly also include the new normal because of COVID and technological changes. These topics also was also disrupted. So take a look at some of those point of view and areas. And then we also have an exciting topic, design of good and services. We also have process and capability design, site selection, people and work system. So like one of you mentioned that the tenant is McDonald's, probably that person can give more experience. Archie can also might have some share his experience in terms of people and work system. Diba? Layout design, very important. If you get to see um, the movie, yung the McDonald's story, the founder, I highly suggest you watch that movie by Michael Keaton because there's one portion where the founders was focused on the layout design, how McDonald's will come up with an efficient and effective way of servicing and producing the burger. So in that scene, in that particular scene, they even practice uh, in the basketball court with a limited space, with the number of people. They managed to come up with a very successful layout design. So I highly recommend you watch The Founder in Netflix. Very entertaining movie. Now, of course, inventory for dependent and independent demand. So these are some of the topics that can be discussed. And then just in time and supply chain management, we learned from the cases of Toyota, of course, yung IBM, they are using this kind of strategy in terms of just in time approach. And then project scheduling is also part of our course, maintenance management. And then for today, just to have a glimpse of how will our meetings and week will be. So today's September 17, we have two reporters, Miss Marela and Miss Emma. Are you guys here?
Yes,
Yes
Doc.
po, Doc.
Okay, good. And next week, September 24, asynchronous class casework. I would like to ask, do you guys have groups or did Dr. Manzano group you according to, do you guys have groups already or more on individual or pairing? Because right
More on
now,
individual
more
team.
individual,
Apo.
so no group yet.
Yeah. We were
Okay, so
given the topics already last meeting. So we were assigned na po to
okay.
discuss each topic.
So right now, you are around 16 students. So maybe we can have four groups in by four members later. Now, ito eksakto, October 1, eksakto sa ito, so Sir Archie, Total Quality Management.
Yes, I chose that talaga.
That's a very appropriate. And Design of Goods and Service by Joanna. And then Asynchronous on October 8. And October 15, Process and Capability Design and Site Selection and Work System by Lovely and Ravender. And then October 22, we have Asynchronous. Ay, Architect, bagay na bagay sa ito. Layout Design, October
Yes nga po.
29. And then Inventory for Dependent and Independent Demand, November 5, Asynchronous, November 12, Just in Time, November 19, Asynchronous, November 26, Project Scheduling and Maintenance Management by Miss Melanie and June. And then Preparation for Final Paper and Final Paper Submission. Now, I think some of you, is anyone assigned a topic? I don't think that Xiang Lin and Miss Zhang, Sarah is already here. She's assigned in inventory. And then Quili
Yes,
Ann.
sir.
I think so. Zhang Ling, Quili Ann, and Miss Zhang. And how about Hai Ji Sun? Are you there?
Yes, Doc.
Okay, Miss Zhang, do you already have your assigned report? Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, so let me take that down, and then later on, after our class, I would like to see and meet you for a quick adjustment in terms of your topic. Okay,
Okay, thank
so that
you.
will be Miss Zhang, and that will be Miss Lin, and number three will be Kuli Ann. Okay, so is there anyone who I did not mention? Yes, Christian.
Sir, si Miss Sian Lin po is Lisa, sir. Doc. Siya po
Ah,
yung pangalan po niya. Meron na siyang
Miss
assigned
Lisa,
si
time and just in time management.
Sian Lin and Lisa, sir, are same person, sir.
Okay. So, two devices, two devices that are using. So, two names. Thank you, Mr. Christian. So, Lisa is okay. So, it's only Zhang that has no topic. Is that correct?
Yes, Doc.
Okay.
Also, sir, Miss Wendy and Mr. Haiji Son.
Okay. Hi, Ji-san. Okay, let me see. Hi, Ji-san. Can you hear me? Can you hear us? Or you can just simply type if you can. If you don't have any mic, you can communicate through our group chat. So I just want to know if you are assigned a topic. If not yet, please stay later so we can assign. Okay, so I can assign a topic for you for this course. Now, the course requirements, everyone knows that case analysis or insight paper is 35%. Presentation, that's the reason why I pay attention to the assigned reports because it's 30% of your grade. And then final paper. Your final paper, as I do understand, is more about IMRAD. So if you have any problems or questions, we can have a separate meeting for that. But Dr. Manzano and I are still discussing regarding and finalizing your IMRAD papers. So the case analysis insight paper will be presented, and then there will be guided questions, and you will be grouped into four, as mentioned earlier. And the basis for a case analysis or insight paper will be the following: the clarity of discussion, the depth of analysis or study, organization of ideas, and quality of resources cited. And then there will be some insight papers that is individual in nature, and some are group. So presentation format, background of the company, which includes the profile, structure, history, type of business, network, and size, status of the company in the industry, significant attributes of the company, how does the topic apply to the company. And then for the class presentation, explicit discussion of the importance and application of the topic to actual production and operations management. Utilize multimedia such as video, audio, photo, visual presentation. And then creativity in delivering the topic will be much appreciated. And then for the class webinar activity, this is an option. Later on, we can discuss if you want to come up with a webinar where we invite guests to talk about topics in different segments under operations and production management. This can be in lieu of case studies or midterm requirement. It depends on the topics that will be covered. Actually, I'm excited because I might recommend some of my colleagues who can be our guest speakers in our webinar, assuming that that will be the direction of this class. And then final examination, since you guys are taking MBA, we the multiple choices, true or false. We're done with that. We are more on research in nature. So we encourage to do an initial research based from this related topic. May nagsabi webinar. Okay. I think webinar is also a very good way of doing our midterms. Anyway, IMRAD format. So the guided questions will be provided. So as mentioned earlier, Dr. Manzano and I myself will be finalizing your guided questions. And then the basis for evaluation, clarity of explanation and ideas. Unfortunately, there's no percentage yet. This will be finalized by next week or next 2 weeks from now. Okay. So thank you. Any questions before we start the report? Anything that I mentioned earlier? Any questions? Okay, if that's the case, let us now proceed to our first reporter of the first semester. Let us give the floor to Miss Marela. She will be discussing operation strategy. And after her discussion, maybe there will be some Q&A. And then immediately it will be followed by Miss Emma. Okay, Miss Marela, you have the floor. And to those who would like to ask questions, it can be reserved after the presentation. If you have any questions or insights, feel free to type in our group chat or text. Okay? So thank you. Miss Marela, you have the cloud.
Thank you, Doc Manzano. Ay, sorry, Doc
Ay, hindi.
Pong.
Doc Manzano.
Doc Pong, sorry. Sorry, Doc. Thank you. I will just share my screen. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Uh, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Thanks. Thank you, Doc. So I am Marela Janel Gittering, and I will be discussing about operation strategy. So, no organization can plan in detail every aspect of its future actions. There is always some degree of uncertainty about what conditions will exist in the future. Once the operations function has understood its role in the business and after it has articulated its performance objectives, it needs to formulate a set of general principles which will guide its decision making. That is why all organizations need the backdrop of a well understood strategic direction so they know at least where they are heading and how they could get there. So before we discuss about operation strategy, um, let us first define strategy. So surprisingly, strategy is not particularly easy to define. Linguistically, the word derives from the Greek word strategos, meaning leading an army. Business strategy can be described in a similar way and includes some of the following. First, setting the broad objectives that direct an enterprise towards its overall goal. Second is planning the path in general rather than specific terms that will achieve these goals. The third one is stressing long term rather than stressing individual activities. The next one is dealing with the total picture rather than stressing individual activities. And lastly is being detached from and above the confusion and distractions of day-to-day activities. Here, by strategic decisions, we mean those decisions which, first, are widespread in their effect on the organization to which the strategy refers. Second is define the position of the organization relative to its environment And lastly is to move the organization closer to its long-term goals. But strategy is more than a single decision. It is a total pattern of the decisions and actions that influence the long-term direction of the business. So what is operation strategy? Operation strategy is a guiding principle used to plan, analyze, and execute a company's operation. Businesses use operation strategies to identify and implement cost effective processes for creating and distributing products and services. An operation strategy supports a company's overall business strategy in order to maximize profits. Operations is not the same as operational. Operations are the resources that create products and services, while operational is the opposite of strategic, meaning day to day and detailed. So, the core operational strategy areas. Different sources use different terms to describe strategy areas. Here's one way to categorize core strategies. So, the first one is the corporate strategy. Overall company strategy, driving the company mission and interconnected departments. So, this type of operation strategy adheres to a company's mission statement and aligns itself to a larger corporate strategy. Business using this type of operation strategy develop production initiatives, key performance indicators, and decision-making processes based on all overall strategic plan determined by company leaders and stakeholders. The second one is the customer-driven strategy. So operational strategies to meet the needs of the targeted customer segment. So organizations using customer driven strategies make operations decisions based on the customer experience. This type of operation strategy aligns with sales and marketing strategies to manage and fulfill customer expectations. The third one is the core competency strategy. So in here, strategies to develop the company's key strengths and resources. Um, this revolves around the main strengths of a company's business model. By identifying the best core business processes within an organization, core competency operation strategies focus on leveraging existing strengths to maximize profitability. The fourth one is the competitive priority strategy. So in here, it differentiates the company in the market to better provide a desired product or services. So companies using this type of strategy develop their operation processes in order to distinguish their product or service from competitors. By identifying competitive priorities within a specific economy, businesses can change their operation strategy to move toward a competitive advantage, whether that's a higher quality product or a faster lead time production. The last one is the product or service development. So, strategies in product design, value, and innovation. So, this type of operation strategy revolves around the quality control of existing products or services, as well as the development of new products and services. Businesses using this model often determine their operation strategies based on the research um, and ideas from product managers. So here are the example of the company's operational strategy. So with the rapidly changing marketplace in recent years, some companies have excelled in part due to their strong operation strategies. Here are few examples. So for Apple computers, Apple is long recognized in operation circles for its operational excellence and supply chain management. Second is Walmart. This retailing giant managed to undercut many competitors on the price and variety of wide range products. FedEx made of delivery its calling card, achieving it with excellent operations. The last one is IKEA. The world's largest furniture retailer undercut many home goods competitors on price and variety with its warehouse concept. So why is operation strategy important? So first is it provides management with feedback regarding the overall effectiveness of the corporate and business strategies. Second is perform detailed operational analysis to identify any omissions or problems or improvement areas in the overarching strategies. The next one is developing smart, specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time bound plans to deliver the outcomes. And last is to implement the action plans and measuring the results against predefined goals and key performance indicators. So the five operation performance objectives. First is the cost, the ability to produce at low cost. Second is the quality, the ability to produce in accordance with specification and without error. The third one is speed, the ability to do things quickly in response to customers' demand and thereby offer short lead times between when a customer orders a product or service and when they received it. Hayes and Will writes four stages of operations contributions. I'm sorry. Sorry. The four-stage model of operations contribution. So this model traces the progression of what the operations function from what is the largely negative role of stage one operations to its becoming the central element of the competitive strategy in excellent stage for operations. I will be further discussing this later. So the ability of an operation to play these roles within the organization can be judged by considering the organizational aims or aspirations of the operation functions. So these are the four stages of operations and operations contribution. The first one is the stage one, internal neutral. This is the very poorest level of contribution by the operations function. It is holding the company back from competing effectively. It is inward looking and at best reactive with very little positive contribute towards competitive success. Paradoxically, its goal is to be ignored or internally neutral. At least then it is not holding the company back in any way. It attempts to improve by avoiding making mistakes. So in shorter term, the stage one internally neutral, the operations function is reactive and viewed as necessary evil. The next stage is the stage two, external neutral. The first step out of stage one is for the operations function to begin comparing itself with similar companies or organization in outside market, being externally neutral. This may not immediately take it to the first division of companies in the market, but at least it is measuring itself against competitors' performance and trying to implement the best practice. So in stage two, externally neutral, the operations functions adopts best practices and tries to match the competition. Stage 3, internally supportive. Stage 3 operations are among the best in the market. Yet, stage 3 operations still aspire to be clearly and ambiguously the very best in the market. They achieve this by gaining a clear view of the goal's competitive or strategic goals and supporting it by developing appropriate operations resources The operation is trying to be internally supportive by providing a credible operations strategy. So, in this stage, internally supportive, the operations function tries to provide support for the overall business strategy. The fourth stage is the externally supportive. Stage 4 is where the company views the operations function as providing the foundation for its competitive success. Operations look to the long term. It forecasts likely changes in markets and supply. It develops the operations-based capability which will be required to compete in the future market conditions. Stage 4 operations are innovative, creative, and proactive and are driving the company's strategy by being one step ahead of competitors or being externally supportive. So in here, the operations function provides a competitive advantage for the company and sets the industry standard. So I have prepared a simple question, 4 questions regarding this um, uh, topic. Yeah. So I hope that everybody will participate. So the first question is the operations function is reactive and viewed as a necessarily evil. You may write your answers in the chat box. Thank you.
Okay, everyone, can you answer the question? Para
Which
may
one?
participation.
Which one po? Okay.
So the answer for this question is the stage 1 or the internally neutral, which is the poorest level of contribution by the operations function. So the second question is this operation function tries to provide support for the overall business strategy. So the answer for this one is the um internally supportive or the stage 3. So the next one is the operations function adopts the best practices and tries to match the competition. Yes, it's stage 2 or externally neutral. So the last one is the operations function provides competitive advantage for the company and sets the industry standard. Yes, letter D or the stage 4 externally supportive. Thank you for participating. So the next one is the perspectives on operation strategy. So, operation strategy is a top-down reflections of what the whole group or business wants to do. Operation strategy is a bottom-up activity where operations improvements cumulatively build strategy. Operation strategy involves translating marketing requirements into operations decisions, sometimes called the outside-in perspective. And last is it involves exploiting the capabilities of operations resources in chosen market, sometimes called the inside-out perspective. So, um, the four perspectives on operation strategy. So, the top-down, or what the organization wants to achieve with the operations. The bottom-up perspective. So, what day-to-day experience suggests operations should do. Operations resources perspective. Um, the role of operations resources, and the market, and lastly the market requirement perspective. So what the market position requires operations to do, or how operations can improve market position. So the top-down strategies, or the orthodox, also called the orthodox perspective. So the corporate strategy sets the objectives for the different businesses which make up a group of businesses. Business strategy sets the objective for each individual business and how it positions itself in its marketplace. And third is functional strategies set the objectives for each function's contribution to its business strategy. The bottom-up strategies sees overall strategy as emerging from day-to-day operational experience. Sometimes companies move in a particular strategic direction because the ongoing experience of providing products and services to customers at an operational level convinces them that this is the right thing to do. There may be no high-level decisions examining alternative strategic options and choosing the one which provides the best forward. Instead, a general consensus emerges from operation level of the organization. Top-down and bottom-up perspectives on operation strategy can reinforce each other. So the top-down perspective sets the overall direction and objectives for operations, decision, and activities. In fact, in order to implement top-down strategy, the day-to-day activities of the operation must be aligned with the strategy. So a way of judging operational day-to-day activities of an operation is to check that they fully reflect the overall top-down strategy of the organization. So I have
may be seen as opposites as illustrated in the diagram. It is worth noting.
So to further discuss about the top-down and bottom-up perspective, I have prepared a video for this one.
May be seen as opposites as illustrated in the diagram. It is worth noting that this is not the case. Both perspectives of operations management can be seen as mutually reinforcing. This is because the strategies developed at the top level must align with the day-to-day operations of the organization for it to succeed. Let's take an example. The top management team in a business organization has designed a strategy to substantially build its profitability so as to increase market share or dominance in the long run. This is a top-down perspective to its operations strategy. The top management team needs to align this strategic objectives with the operations of the organization, that is, the day-to-day running of the business. They need to consult with the lower-level management responsible with the operational activities on how to achieve this overall objective. Following the consultation, this might require that the business expand and invest in extra capacity, such as establishing branches, equipment and labor in all parts of its market to offer relatively fast delivery in order to achieve this overall long-term objective. This is how the top-down and bottom-up perspectives mutually reinforce the overall operations strategy of the organization. There is no point in setting long-term objectives beyond the capabilities of the operations. To be aware of the organization's capabilities and constraints, consultations must happen from the bottom to the top. This then may lead to the review of the long-term objectives or increasing of operations capacity to accommodate these objectives. In sum, when defining an organization's operations strategy, the organization needs to consider the following questions. 1. What is the long-term goal? 2. Is the operations capability able to achieve this? And 3. What resources are needed to achieve these long-term objectives? There are other things that needs to be considered when formulating strategy. Do you remember our diagram? We also need to consider the role of the market when developing operations strategy and from the inside out. That is, the resource constraint.
So, so the next one is the process. Sorry, for a while lang. Ayan, sorry for the interruption. So, the process of operation strategy, what is called the process of strategy, is concerned with how strategies are put together. So, the process of operation strategy means the method that is used to determine what an operation strategy should be. The stages, the stages of the process of operation strategy are operation strategy formulation, operation strategy implementation, operation strategy monitoring, and operation strategy control. So for the operation strategy formulation, what should the formulation process be trying to achieve? We can check it out for some attributes that could stop it being a success as follows. Is operation strategy comprehensive? Is operation strategy coherent? Does operation strategy have correspondence? Does operation strategy identify critical issues? So for operation strategy implementation, 3 issues are often mentioned by strategy practitioners as being important in achieving successful implementation. First one is the clarity of strategic decisions. There is a strong relationship between the formulation stage and the implementation stage of operation strategy. The second one is the motivational leadership. Leadership that motivates, encourages, and provides support is a huge advantage in dealing with the complexity of implementation. The last one is the project management. Implementation means breaking up a complex plan into a set of relatively distinct activities. The third one is the operation strategy monitoring. Especially in times when things are changing rapidly, as during strategic change, organization often want to track ongoing performance to make sure the changes are proceeding as planned. Monitoring should be capable of providing early indications or warning bell by diagnosing date and triggering appropriate changes in how the operation strategy is being implemented. Having created a plan for the implementation, each part of it has to be monitored to ensure that planned activities are indeed happening. Any deviation from what should be happening can be rectified through some kind of intervention in the operation. The last one is the operation strategy control. Strategic control involves the evaluation of results from monitoring to monitoring the implementation, activities, plans and performance are assessed with the intention of correcting future action if that is required. At a strategic level, control can be difficult because strategic objectives are not always clear and ambiguous. So rather than adhering dogmatically to a predetermined plan, it may be better to adapt as circumstances change. And more uncertain environment, the more an operation needs to emphasize this form of strategic flexibility and develop its ability to learn from events. Factors affecting operation strategy. So will be the last part of my report. So the factors affecting operation strategy could be cost or price. So affects pricing decisions and profit. Productivity is an important determinant of cost. Higher productivity than competitors lead to competitive cost advantage. And cost minimization is the primary goal. Second one is quality, refers to materials, design, and service. Consumers judge quality on basis of how products or service satisfy the need of an individual. Consumers are willing to pay more if they perceive greater quality than the competitors. Consumer buy product based on quality. Flexibility, so ability to respond to changes, relates to alteration in designing features of product or service. And the last one is speed or time, the ability to do things quickly in response to customer demands and thereby offer short lead times between when a customer orders a product or service and when they receive it. That will be all. Thank you for listening. So if you have questions, feel free to ask.
Okay. So any questions, clarification? Can you put back your PowerPoint, Miss Marella? Marella.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes po, Doc.
Mhm. Now, in terms of the concepts and the items, it was properly discussed and addressed accordingly. Now, my question to you as a reporter, or maybe to everyone in the class, okay, just kindly share your PowerPoint first.
For a while lang po.
Okay. And then while Miss Marella is preparing, I would like to ask Miss Emma to prepare her presentation as well. Okay. Can you go back to the bottom up top management? Yeah, that one. The 4 perspectives on operation strategy. Now, I would like to ask the class, can you give any examples of companies, actual companies using these kinds of operation strategies? Or maybe, let me rephrase, since you are all working in different company, may I ask, try to analyze among the 4 perspectives on operation strategy based from the company that you're working, which of the 4 do you think is the most appropriate strategy right now? Or you can relate to these 4 perspectives on operation strategy. So let me start with Miss Marella. Marella, you're working where? Where were you working at?
Optum Global Solutions.
Okay, looking at the company that you're working, knowing the industry, knowing the company background, knowing your clients, knowing the quality, the time, the cost, which do you think is among the 4 perspectives of operation strategy is your company operating on, and why?
Um, for a while na, sir.
And I would like to ask some of you who would like to share. Try to look at those four perspectives of operation strategy. Which do you think is your company operating or using as a strategy right now? And then once you identify, is there a better way? Again, this is discussion purposes. Okay. So what I want you as an MBA student is to come up with information or case, and then you try to analyze it based on what is given and convert it to synthesize it, and if there is other way of doing better. Okay. So anything that is anyone would like to share? Sige, let's start with our reporter, Miss Marela. So you mentioned that your company, you're working at Global.
Up
Okay.
to global.
Okay, sige. To start the case, tell us something about the company. What are you guys producing? What is the nature of your job, industry? Who are your customers? Yeah. To start, to paint us the picture.
Optum Global Solution is an American pharmacy benefit manager and healthcare provider. So, yung clients po namin is mga doctors and other healthcare providers from the United States po.
Okay, so operation strategies are evaluated to 5 objectives, as you mentioned: productivity, quality, cost, time, and delivery in the sense, right? So, can you enumerate those objectives that was mentioned earlier? So your clients are doctors from the States. What are you actually offering to your clients?
Yung sa company namin, sir, is we work under, we are a subsidiary of United Health Group. United Health Group is a health insurance in the United States. So, yung ginagawa po namin is, yung mga provider, mga doctors na, kumbaga parang kami po yung nagre-review ng mga medical records nung patient. Tapos, tinitingnan po namin if pwedeng ma-reimburse yung mga, kasi health insurance po. So, tinitingnan po namin if na-perform ba yung mga operations, yung mga binil nilang sa insurance na nag-work sa United Health, yung insurance company. Yun po, chine-check namin. So, if pumasa po sa standard nung company namin or na-submit nila yung mga documents na required, then i-reimburse po namin yung mga procedures na na-perform po nila.
Okay. So, the top management, so most likely, based from your information, it is more on top-down perspective, the company that you're working with?
Yes po.
Okay. So right now, assuming that is the current status, as a MBA student, how would you improve that in terms of operation strategy? In your company, do you have suggestion boxes or suggestions rewards in your company in place?
Yes po, sir.
Okay, so can you give us an example of a reward system?
Example, sir, if meron po kaming parang bright idea na pwede kang mag-suggest ng sa tingin mo makakatulong sa operations. Kasi mahalaga din yung quality sa amin. So, kasi dun po nakadepende if parang, kumbaga po, if ma-reimburse namin yung binil ng provider, tapos hindi naman po pala dapat siya binayaran. So, lugi po sa company namin. Then, if hindi naman namin binayaran pero nagawa naman pala ng maayos ng provider, may chance na yung provider is hindi na siya magtiwala or lumipat na lang siya ng ibang parang hindi niya na i-accept yung health insurance na example is yung United Health Group. So Sorry, Doc. Pwede po paulit yung question.
So in
Na-blackout po.
so basically what I'm trying to put here is that just for the information of everyone, if you look at your own company, definitely there's among the four perspective, there's one dominant operation strategy. We know companies like American companies were very popular, the top-down perspective. Who's the CEO? Whatever the CEO wants, that will be the direction of the company. Now, what Ms. Mariela mentioned in her company, there's also the empowerment of suggestion. So that is according to bottoms-up perspective coming from the Japanese management. Now, as mentioned, so Japanese management bottoms up, they give importance to people who can make suggestions on how to make operations more effective and efficient. So in your case, Mariela, if someone from your company suggested uh, suggested an opinion or suggested to make it more better in terms of efficient and effectivity of the place, will that be recognized and will that suggestion be implemented in your company or it's yet to be approved by the top-down management?
Ayun po, sir. Ayun po, yan, open po sa suggestions yung company namin. So, if ever yung suggestion ng isang employee ng company namin is parang sa tingin nila ay malaking tulong po, i-approve pa din po siya ng management. Pero if ma-approve siya, may mga cash rewards po, tsaka parang may part na parang pwede kang ma-promote if ever parang yung mga suggestions mo is laging na-accept na nakakatulong sa business process po.
Okay. So therefore, the conclusion would be in terms of Mariela's situation on her company, if we put more flavor on the bottom-up perspective, then it can actually improve the operation strategy, right? So those are the things that I want you to look at, having this framework and looking at your own perspective, looking at your company. Anyone else would like to share their experience? Yes, Archie, go ahead. And then it will be followed by Miss Architect of Zoom. Go ahead.
Right. Sorry kung nauna na ako kasi I need to drive after this. I have another meeting to go to. Anyway,
Okay.
It's different naman. I'll share a different example. Ano?
Yes, yes.
It's different kasi naman pagdating sa project management.
Mhm.
Right? Like in our case, ano, when we handled or when I took in this the project for the National Vaccine Program or the VIMS, no? We actually employed all of these strategies
Yes.
in sequence. So you start off with the market requirement perspective kasi we need to scope eh. Titignan natin on what the situation or the project requires our operations to do. So doon namin bubuin naman ngayon yung project and then after that we move towards to the left. Ano naman yung operations resources or na perspective or what our operations resources can do. Kumbaga, kaya ba namin?
The infrastructure that's being placed.
Correct. Kaya ba ng tao namin, ng skill set and pati ng infrastructure? Kung hindi man, anong kailangan namin idagdag? Then after that, pero hindi mind you, we're not dropping the perspectives, ha? It's still
Of course.
ongoing siya. Tapos, after namin lumipat na sa operations resources, we go to the top-down perspective. Kasi pag project kasi, it's like preparing for a wedding. Eh. You're preparing for one day, pero you have this X amount of days to prepare. So, kailangan very directive ka. Na, this is what or in this case, the business, ano? Pero in that case, this is what the project needs or wants the operations to do in order for it to happen o para mangyari siya. So habang nasa operations ka na, last stage namin palagi is yung bottom-up perspective. Kasi wala namang perfect project kasi or
Right.
walang perfect business in any sense. So yung huli namin lagi is yung bottom-up kasi especially in my case, I handle the whole of service delivery. Service delivery kasi is always the heart and feedback mechanism of any business or project. Kasi ikaw yung dulo ikaw rin yung nakaka-receive ng feedback at nakaka-feel if this is working or not. So, galing naman dito, dito naman umaangat, papunta sa taas, papunta sa leadership, kung if we need to do some changes or tweaking nung operation strategy na ibinaba. Kasi sometimes this might work today. For example, I'll give an example. When we rolled out nung nag-start yung vaccination natin noong March, officially, pero syempre alam natin unofficially, November, December 2020, may nagbabakunahan na. So, nung officially, March, nung ni-roll out na, the only focus nung project is we get these vaccines out to the frontliners. And then moving to the to the classifications, A1, A2, A3, A4. So wala pa in mind yung other stuff. More on we get these vaccines to the people. How many vaccines ang kailangan? So kaya nagkaroon muna ng master registry. So ilan ang kailangan for this place? Ilan ang papadala? Tapos nung habang babakuna na, ilan yung pabalik? So ganun lang siya. So nung umikot, top-down perspective lang ginagamit yan. Bring the vaccines out, register the vaccinees, give the LGUs a system that they can register their vaccinees, give the DOH a system that they can do the inventory on how many in or out na vaccines ang pumasok. And basically, that's it. Ganun lang siya. Now, nga lang, syempre, as the vaccination progresses, eto na, dumadami ni age group, dumadami na rin yung coverage niya, dumadami ng LGUs, at pumasok na yung data reconciliation. Kasi it's one thing si tao number 1 nagpabakuna, si tao number 2 nagpabakuna. Kailangan na ngayon ng reconciliation versus to sa inventory na nilabas natin kay DOH. So, pumapasok na ngayon, the day-to-day perspective or the bottom-up perspective comes in. Kasi you need to change your system. You need to align your system to the need of the project or its needs. Madami. Especially when inutos ng IATF gave an order that all vaccinated people should be in the system. Kasi before, the LGUs, they tend to keep it by themselves. Even though we gave them the system, they feel that, this is my data, I would not give it to you. But now they need to upload. Kasi nga, so we can get a better understanding on how many are vaccinated. Yung napapanood nyo sa TV na how many individuals are vaccinated, ganyan, even yung ilan yung nagpa-positive, sa amin galing yun. So,
Archie, you're done? Parang naputol ka.
Sorry. Where was I cut off?
About the LGU not sharing the data.
Ayun, so sa LGU not sharing the data, pero so IATF said, hey, you need to upload this. Why? Because we need to analyze the data so we can give na ngayon we can forecast, number 1, how many vaccines do we still need? Data analytics na kasi siya. So, and number 2, pwede na ba tayo magluwag? Or pwede na magpasok ng classifications? Kasi everything that you see on the news, the numbers that DOH are presenting comes from us. Kasi we administer that. Kami yung nagko-collect kasi niyan . And then, ito na yung, after that, something else changed. People now has vaccine cards, pero the problem is, the vaccine cards are issued by so many different LGUs, you wouldn't know now which is authentic or not. Plus, the international community, like other countries na medyo nag-open tayo last year, doesn't recognize our Vax cards. So now, eto na, kailangan na namin i-launch ngayon yung vaccine certificate, yung National Vaccine Certificate. So, ulit, babalik na naman yun doon sa bottom-up perspective. What is the feel on the ground? Na how should it look like? How do we issue it? Diba? And how would the other countries recognize it or read it or scan it? So yan. So sa project management or in a project on a project business or a business that deals with projects, all the strategies here are employed but in sequence. And then it goes around and around and around. Parang isang ecosystem siya kasi it continuously evolves. Like now, dati ang boss ko ay DICT. Ngayon, I already have 2 bosses. Why? Kasi the project now is being transitioned to DOH because DOH is the ultimate enabler ng ating national vaccine program. And now, our plan is to use this vaccine information management system, not just for COVID na. We're going to use it for all the vaccines that are being administered by DOH. So, another bottom-up perspective yon and another market requirement perspective yon na kailangan namin i-evolve. We need to evolve the system to cater to what is needed. And then we go back again to the top-down perspective na, okay, this is what is agreed. This is what we need to do. Let's roll this out in this X number of days. And then babalik na naman siya sa bottom-up perspective. So sabi nga, it's a vicious cycle, but it's a cycle that we welcome. Sabi nga.
Yes.
So yun naman yung sinishare ko sa inyo.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Archie. So, continuous cycle, but important is continuous improvement as well.
Correct, sir.
Okay, so Miss Architect, go ahead, sir. Good, ma'am.
Hello, sir. Opo. I would like to share that during the pandemic season that we have about the school, we experienced the top-down perspective at the same time, a combination of the bottom-up perspective. During those time, the operation, we have so much meetings and the top management and with the help of every unit and every department, there are all collaborations on what will be the decision for the school, kumbaga, ano ba ang nilook out natin at those time, di ba? Parang it's a different thing. Parang hindi yun the usual natin na nakikita natin yung ating progress on 5-year term. So it's a higher management at the same time given po yung mga ideas and ideas ng mga nasa lower unit natin. So more on a top-down perspective, but a combination of the bottom-up perspective. On those times, we develop if we are going to have a face-to-face classes, an online, or a combination. So that is why we have the what we call right now is the high flex learning, which I think it was developed because of this 2 perspective on those time. But this time, sir, during this face-to-face classes na, parang napupunta na rin tayo sa market requirement perspective. Parang ganun yung nakikita ko na. Yes. Oo. So parang sir, it depends on this 4 perspective kung ano yung current situation na pwede natin gamitin with this for perspective on operation strategy. Kumbaga ang pinakita ko lang for during the pandemic, we are more on the top-down perspective and the bottom-up perspective. That's all, sir.
Thank you. So thank you, Architect Marge. Those are 2 good examples. Archie presenting the macro level where we're looking at the perspective of the whole vaccination system, and Architect Marge focusing on the micro level in the form of a university. So you get to see the consistency, the cycle, and there are times that there might be a combination of 2, 3, or 4. But what's important is you have to look at the four perspective operation strategy as well. Another thing that I want to add is, as a MBA student, the importance of culture. Because if there's no, if the culture is not there, the operations perspective strategy will not work. So there should be a culture, there should be competency, there should be competent leader, there should be continuous improvement. So there's a lot of things going on. And as Architect March demonstrated, again, we are going to look at what is the market requirement perspective and will it be supported by the operations research perspective coming from the top down perspective with the support of the bottoms up perspective. So very good. Anyone else would like to add? Oh, okay, so let's give the floor to Miss Emma. So thank you, Miss Marela. Let's give her a virtual clap. And let us give the floor to Miss Emma regarding forecasting. Now, this is one of a very exciting topic, forecasting, because it's all about everyone. We know that we're working in a very limited, scarce resources. So forecasting is one of the things that is involved whenever we talk about operations management. And let's take a look at what Miss Emma can share to us today. Miss Emma, you have the cloud.
Yes po, Doc. By the way, Doc, Emma po or M for short kasi I have a very long name po, Mary Ann Margaret
Okay,
po.
let me
Ayan.
just, sorry, it's Ma'am Emma. Okay. Ma'am M na lang, M.
Yes po, Doc. Ayan. So, again po, good afternoon, everyone. So, today po I'll be discussing forecasting. So, let me share my screen po.
Yes, ma'am. You have the. Thank you.
Ayan. Can you see my slides na po?
Yes, ma'am.
Ayan. So, let us first define what is forecasting. Forecasting is the process of making prediction of the future based on the past and present data. This is most commonly by analysis of trends. A commonplace example might be estimation of some variable of interest at some specific future date. Prediction is a similar but more general term. Both might refer to formal statistical methods employing time series, cross-sectional, or longitudinal data, or alternatively to less formal judgmental method. Usage can differ between areas of application. For example, in hydrology, the terms forecast and forecasting are sometimes reserved for estimate of values at certain specific future times, while the term prediction is used for more general estimates such as the number of times floods will occur over a long period. Risk and uncertainty are central to forecasting and prediction. It is generally considered good practice to indicate the degree of uncertainty attached to a specific forecast. In any case, the data must be up to date in order for the forecast to be as accurate as possible. In some cases, the data used to predict the variable of interest is itself forecasted. Accuracy is important when it comes to forecast. If executive overestimate the demand for a product, the company could end up spending money on manufacturing, distribution, and servicing activities it won't need. Data Impact, a software developer, recently overestimated the demand for one of its new product because the sales of the product didn't meet projection. Data Impact lacked the cash available to pay its vendor, utility vendors, providers, and others. Employees had to be terminated in many areas of the firm to trim the cost. Underestimating demand can be just as devastating. When a company introduces a new product, it launches marketing and sales campaign to create demands for it. But if the company isn't ready to deliver the amount of product the market demands, then other competitor can steal sales firm might otherwise have captured. One of example is Sony's inability to deliver the e-reader in sufficient number insufficient numbers, which made Amazon Kindle more readily accepted in the market. Other features then gave the Kindle an advantage that Sony is finding difficult to overcome. The firm has to do more than just forecast the company sales. The process can be complex because how much the company can sell will depend on the factors such as how much the product will cost, how the competitors will react, and so forth. Each of these factors has to be taken into account in order to determine how much the company is likely to sell. As factor change, the forecast has to change as well. Thus, a sales forecast is actually a composite of number of estimate and has to be dynamic and those other estimate change. So, why forecasting is important? In general, forecasting is valuable to business because it gives the ability to make informed business decision and develop data-driven strategies. Financial and operational decisions are made based on the current market condition and prediction on how the future looks. Past data is aggregated and analyzed to find patterns used to predict future trends and changes. Forecasting allows your company to be proactive instead of reactive. So there are different ways forecasting can be helpful to organization. So number one is it helps set goals and plan. Forecasting allow business set reasonable and measurable goals based on current and historical data. Having accurate data and statistics to analyze helps businesses to decide what amount of change, growth, or improvement will be determined as a success. Having these goals helps to evaluate progress and adapt business processes where needed to continue on the desired path. There are certain tools such as CRM which will help to visual forecasting and give insight into things like the sales, pipeline opportunities, and more. Number two is to help budget. Having visibility into potential trends and changes help businesses to know where to allocate their budget and time spent on a certain offering such as products, services, or areas internally such as hiring and adjusting strategy. As Investopedia states, budgeting quantifies the expectation of revenues that a business want to achieve for a future period, whereas financial forecasting estimate the amount of revenue or income that will be achieved in a future period. Having insight into current business functionality along with later predicted trends and combining this information into meaningful insights makes for a better allocated and estimated budget. Forecasting also helps anticipate change within the market. Having insight into not only current data but projection of what could happen in the future helps businesses to make adjustment to business strategy and alter current operation in order to change their outcome. Forecasting helps position businesses to become active instead of reactive. If there is a trend that is predictable to take over the market or data is showing changes in consumer behavior, it is important to readjust to the market overall and optimize resources to stand out from the competition. So we have here the forecasting horizon. So forecasting horizon is the length of time into the future for which forecasts are to be prepared. So we have the long-term forecasting wherein it tends to be completed at a high level in the organization. The time frame is generally considered longer than 2 years into the future. Detailed knowledge about the product and markets are required due to the high degree of uncertainty. This commonly the case with new product entering the market, emerging new technologies, and opening new facilities. This often no historical data is available. Medium-term forecasting. This tend to be several months up to 2 years in the future and is referred to as intermediate term. Both quantitative and qualitative forecasting may be used in this time frame. Short-term forecasting is a daily up to months in the future. These forecasts are used for operational decision making such as inventory planning, ordering, and scheduling of the workforce. Usually, quantitative methods such as time series analysis are used in this time frame. So, we go now to the categories of forecasting methods. So, first, let us discuss what is qualitative forecasting. So, qualitative forecasting is a subjective techniques based on the opinion and judgment of the consumer and experts. They are appropriate when the past data are not available. They are usually applied to a intermediate or long range decision. So in the following are the example of the qualitative forecasting technique. So as discussed po earlier, we have the executive judgment or the top-down, wherein a groups of high level of executive will often assume responsibility for the forecast. They will collaborate to examine market data and look at future trends for the business. Often they will use statistical models as well as market expert to arrive at a forecast. Salesforce opinion, where they use po bottom-up strategies. The Salesforce in the business are the person most close to the customers. Their opinions are of high value. Often the Salesforce personnel are asked to give their future projection for their area or territory. Once all of those are reviewed, they may be combined to form an overall forecast for district or region. We also have the Delphi method. This method was created by the RAND Corporation in 1950s. A group of experts are recruited to participate in a forecast. The administrator of the forecast will send out a series of questionnaire and ask for inputs and justification. These responses will be collated and sent out again to allow responded to evaluate and adjust their answers. A key aspect of the Delphi method is that the responses are anonymous. Respondent do not have the knowledge about what the information has come from, which sources it come from, that permits all the opinion to be given equally consideration. The set of questionnaire will go back and forth multiple times until forecast is agreed upon. They also use the market surveys wherein some organization will employ market research firms to solicit information from consumers regarding opinions on products and future purchasing plans. We also have the quantitative forecasting. These are models used to forecast future data as a function of past data. They are appropriate to use when the past numerical data is available and when it is reasonable to assume that some of the pattern in the data are expected to continue in the future. This method are usually applied to a short or intermediate range decision. Some examples of quantitative forecasting method are causal forecasting method, last last period demand or the naive method, simple and way in period moving average, and simple exponential smoothing method, which are categorized as time series method. Quantitative forecasting models are often judged against each other by comparing their accuracy performance measure. Some of these measure include mean absolute deviation, and mean squared errors, and mean absolute percentage error. So let's go to the causal forecasting method. So one of the most famous models is the regression analysis. In statistical modeling, regression analysis is a set of statistical process for estimating the relationship among variables. It includes many techniques for modeling and analyzing several variables when the focus is on the relationship between a dependent variable and one or more independent variables. More specifically, regression analysis help one understand how the typical value of the dependent variable changes when any of the independent variables is varied, while the other independent variables are held fixed. So, under the demand patterns, wherein we plot our historical product demand, the following patterns can be often found. We have the trend, cycle, and seasonal, and so forth. A trend is a consistent upward or downward movement of the demand. This may be related to the product life cycle. A cycle is a pattern in the data that tends to last more than 1 year in a duration. Often they are related to events such as interest rate, political climate, consumer confidence, or other market factors. Seasonal. So many products have seasonal patterns, generally predictable changes in demands that are recurring every year. Fashion products and sporting goods are heavily influenced by seasonality. Irregular variation. Often demand can be influenced by event of series of events that are not expected to be repeated in the future. Examples might include an extreme weather event, a strike at a college campus, or a power outage. Random variation. Random variations are the unexplained variation in demand that remain after all other factors are considered. Often this is referred to as a noise. So these are the example po nung plotting nung trend, cyclical and seasonal. We go now to time series method. Time series method use historical data as the basis of estimating future outcomes. A time series is a series of data point index in the time order. Most commonly, a time series is a sequence taken at a successive equally spaced points in time. Thus, it is sequence of discrete time data. Example of time series are the heights of ocean tides, counts of sunspots, and the daily closing value of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Time series are frequently plotted via line charts. Time series are used in statistics, signal processing, pattern recognition, econometrics, mathematical finance, weather forecasting, earthquake prediction, encephalography, control engineering, astronomy, communication engineering, and largely in any domains of applied science and engineering which involves temporal measurement. Also, we have the naive method. This is the simplest forecasting method. In this case, the forecast for the next period is set at the actual demand for the previous period. This method of forecasting may often be used as a benchmark in order to evaluate and compare other forecast methods. So, simple moving average. In this method, we take the average of the last n period and use that as the forecast for the next period. The value of n can be determined by the management in order to achieve a more accurate forecast. For example, a manager may decide to use the demand values from the last 4 period. Example, n is equal to 4 to calculate the 4 period moving average forecast for the next period. So this is an example po, an example on how to compute simple moving average. So DT is equal to actual demand observed in period T. FT is the forecast for period T. Using the following table, we calculate the forecast for the period 5 based on a 3 period moving average. So we'll just take the average using this table. So for solution, we forecast for period 5. So period 5 is equals to D4 plus D3 plus D2 divide 3 po. So again, dito po, we add lang si sorry, 40 plus 34 plus 37 and divide po natin sa 3 which is equivalent to 11, 111 then divide po again to another to 3 which is 37 po yung ating simple moving average. Weighted moving average. This method is the same as the simple moving average with the addition of weight for each one of the last end period. In practice, these weights need to be determined in a way to produce the most accurate forecast. So let us have a take a look po at the same example but this time with weights po. Yan. So same example po from the previous one, dinagdagan lang po natin ng weight. So for the forecast for period 5, so we compute it. F5 is times po natin 0.5 which is the weight po nung period 4 times D4 plus weight nung period D3 plus weight po nung period 2 times nung D2 equivalent po sa 37.6. Exponential smoothing. This method uses a combination of the last actual demand and the last forecast to produce the forecast for the next period. There are a number of advantages to using this method. It can often result in a more accurate forecast. It is an easy method that enables forecast to quickly react to a new trends or changes. A benefit to exponential smoothing is that it doesn't require a large amount of historical data. Exponential smoothing require the use of smoothing coefficient called alpha. The alpha that is chosen will determines how quickly the forecast responds to changes in demand. It also referred to as a smoothing factor. So formula for the calculating the exponential smoothing. So FT is equivalent to 1 minus the alpha. FT plus A alpha times the DT minus 1. Note that the alpha is a coefficient between 0 and 1. For this method to work, we need to have a forecast for the previous period. This forecast is assumed to be obtained using the same exponential smoothing smoothing method. If there were no previous period forecast for any of the past period, we will need to initiate the method of forecasting by making some assumption. This is explained in the next example. So this is our table. So in this example, period 5 is our next period for which we are looking for the forecast in order to have that, we will need to forecast for the last period of 4, but there is no forecast given for the period 4. Thus, we need to calculate the forecast for period 4 first. However, a similar issue exists for a period 4 since we do not have the forecast for the period 3, so we need to go back for one more period and calculate the forecast for period 3. As you see, this will take us all the way back to period 1 because there is no period before period 1. We will need to make some assumption for the forecast of period. One common assumption is to use the same demand of period 1 for its forecast. This will give us forecast to start and then we can calculate the forecast for the period 2. From there, let's see how the calculation work out. So if alpha is 0.3, assume it is given here, but in practice, this is value needs to be selected properly, produce the most accurate forecast. So this is assume computation using this diagram po. So seasonal index. So many organizations produce goods whose demand is related to the seasons or changes in weather throughout the year. In these cases, a seasonal index may be used to assist in calculation of forecast. So here po we just simply divide the previous sales, divide po sa average sales to get the seasonal index. Using this calculated indices, we can forecast the demand for the next year based on the expected annual demand for the next year. Let's say a firm has estimated that the next year annual demand will be 2,500 units. Yan. Yan po. So, thank you po.
Do you have video to show
Ah,
or
I will try po to, this is a ano po, Doc, bali po, quick summary lang po dun sa, sorry, summary po nung sa methods po. Wait lang. No. Saan na yung... I know. Ayun yan na. Bato. Ayun. Ayun po. Sorry po. Ayan, sorry. I will try po to open po for the pag meron po may sounds, for example. Wait lang po. Ayan.
All right, thanks for joining us for today's video. Today we'll be talking about different forecasting methods, and in a couple of other videos that we have, we'll dive a little bit deeper into those forecasting methods and talk about specifically how to create those models, and then how to determine which model is right for you, or if you need a more robust model. So as we begin looking at forecasting methods, one of the first things that most people think of is they think about the quantitative type of forecast. They think about taking historical data or time series or correlation data and kind of creating these forecasts out in the future of what we think is going to happen, right? But there are actually quite a few instances where we see a lot of qualitative forecasting approaches, and these would be opinions from experts, decision makers, or customers about what we should expect to see in a specific situation. And so we'll dive a little bit deeper here in this video into the different types of quantitative as well as qualitative forecasting, and then in future videos we'll go in and we'll actually talk about how to go through each of these different approaches. And so as we look at quantitative forecasting methods, we can really break that out into these four approaches, or these four approaches are what we commonly see. There are groups that use the naive approach, which is really just looking at what happened in the previous period and saying that's going to happen again, right? I sold 100 widgets last period, this period I'm going to sell 100 widgets again. Moving averages might say, okay, the last three periods, if I take the average of what happened in the last three periods, the next period will probably be the same as those, and then we kind of move that average along, whether it's 3 periods, 6 periods, 12 periods, something like that. Exponential smoothing basically goes, and it's really a matter of taking a weighted average approach when we're looking at these moving averages. So we're going to weight different periods differently because maybe they're more relevant to the forecast, and so it's a little bit more robust robust and a little more sophisticated when we're talking about forecasting methods. And then, of course, there's trend projection, where we look at what is the trajectory of what's happening. Maybe we're increasing every single period, or we've had like 2 increases, a small decrease, and then another increase. And so we see, we're starting to see this rise or this increasing trend. And so we need to take a look at that. And so we'll look at those, and then we'll also throw in a bonus video where we'll talk a little bit about linear regression, and then how to think about that, and perhaps even dive in deep a little bit on some of those things. The qualitative forecasting methods, there are 4 of those that we'll cover as well. There's executive opinion, which is typically when we're looking at a group of executives that they're going to make a decision or an opinion about what's going to happen in the next period. You've got the Delphi model method, which is where you've got consumers that or maybe they're just trusted advisors or something like that, but they give their opinion about what they think is going to happen, how many widgets they'd buy, or how many widgets they think would be sold in different markets or wherever else. And then you've got a group that compiles all that information and sort of interprets it, but then they give it to decision makers, and those decision makers then go through. So we've got 3 different groups of people working on things in that Delphi method there. The decision makers, those who compile all the information, and then of course the people that are surveyed or asked about their opinions on it. And then there's the Salesforce estimates. And we typically see this quite a bit, where you've got individual salespeople that they make their own sales forecasting estimates, and then from those numbers, then that's where we get those estimates of what's going to happen in the next period. And then the final area is consumer surveys. Would you purchase this, or how would you purchase this? Again, in each of the videos we'll talk about a little bit of the problems with just looking at one of these individual methods or one of these individual approaches, but then we'll also tell you a little bit more about how to go about forecasting in that method or using that approach. And so as we look at the entire landscape, especially of the videos that we've got here that we're going to go through, we're going to be addressing, of course, the quantitative and the qualitative approaches to forecasting in each of these videos. Subscribe to the channel.
Right.
And
Ayan po. So,
Okay. So that ends your report, Miss M.
yes po, Doc. That's end my
Okay.
report. And thank you very much. For any questions na lang po.
Okay. Any questions from the group before we end the operation strategy and the forecasting presentation? Anyone? Okay, so it seems that there's a question. Any questions?
Doc,
Yeah, go ahead,
Jun,
Mr.
Jun
Christian.
Feeling po. Doc, if may applicable ba ito sa government agency, Doc, yung forecasting po? Kasi kami, Doc, government-owned corporation kami, Doc, pero income generating corporation, but deficient naman kami, Doc. So applicable ba yung itong method, Doc, na forecasting po sa business?
Well, siguro I need to ask you questions para we will know if we can require the forecasting method. Like sa in your company, tell us what's the company all about? Do you have a supply demand?
Usually, Doc,
What is the logic of the business of your company?
actually, Doc, NIA is National Irrigation Administration, which is our mandate is to design, build, and maintain irrigation projects or system, Doc. Then eventually we get revenue or collection fees from farmers or corporation in lieu to the using of irrigation water in our irrigation, such as the more than 8 hectares landowners or corporation, they pay fees, Doc, usually 3 to 5 kabans per hectare per cropping schedule po. So usually in the Philippines, we do 2 cropping pattern, which is wet and dry, summer and which is January to June and July to September.
So
usually.
seasonality then.
Yes, po, Doc.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you deal with resources?
Uh, what kind of resources, Doc?
What resources do you need to operate in a company?
Usually, Doc, we have the manpower, we have funding
Hmm.
from the collection we got from the revenue. Example, we also have a income from equipment rental, Doc,
Mm-hmm.
hydropower
So
also.
equipment rental,
Yes,
and
Doc.
then definitely in your case you need forecasting because, like for instance, anything that you put in input outputs, if there's something to do with input output,
Yes, Doc.
forecasting is also part of your um, strategy or your operations management. Because as long as you operate under resources, inputs, you need forecasting. You need, like what Miss M mentioned, forecasting helps you to be more proactive than reactive.
Mm.
It gives you a better perspective of how would you use your reference or resources. Like for instance, manpower. How many manpower do you have in your company?
More or less, sir, 10,000
Oh,
employees po.
see, the more you need forecasting. Kasi
Mm.
if you don't do forecasting, then your manpower, for instance, will be more reactive. So whenever, especially in your company where it is seasonal, you might not need that number of people in a certain month, right?
Yes, Doc.
So you would know for instance for the month of June to when is your peak season? Example, peak season month. When is your peak season of the year?
What do you mean peak
Peak
season, Doc?
season is the highest productivity month.
After
Where
cropping season, Doc, we collect, usually, Doc, the collection is after the harvesting period po ng mga farmers, Doc.
yes,
Usually July,
what month are those, sir? What month are
July,
those?
July and January po, Doc. And then
Yun.
next,
Yeah.
yes.
For instance, for June to July to January, that's your peak season. That's after harvesting. Then you need more manpower. You need more resources. So that's the reason why you need forecasting in the sense.
Mhm. Kasi usually, Doc, meron kasing kaming case. Kasi fully subsidized nga ang the NIA is only really fully subsidized, Doc, because the irrigation fee is already free na.
Mm.
Gumagawa ng kasing batas. So, we get an annual budget of 2 billion for the irrigation fee. Aside from the operation we do is to build and design irrigation projects based on our mandate, Doc, now, which we have a baseline of 3 million hectares
Mm.
to be irrigated
Okay.
on 3% slope.
Mm-mm.
So currently, Doc, we are 2.1. So meron kaming balance almost 1 million na lang to irrigate. So yun lang, Doc. Mandate lang kasi namin is to provide water lang kasi, Doc. Eh. So
Mm-mm.
mm,
Like for instance,
kasi
you provide water. You have someone to match it the requirements of that water that you're providing, right? It's like
yes, Doc.
providing electricity. There are users, there are end users. So
Yes.
if ever that's the case, forecasting, you definitely need forecasting in your area. Don't worry. In this subject, we'll talk more about forecasting in a way it has in different cases, case studies natin. So you will appreciate.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you, Sir Christian. And what's the name of your company? Or what's the name of the company that you're working?
National Irrigation Administration po,
Oh,
Doc.
that's interesting. National Irrigation
Administration po.
Administration. Where are you located?
In Quezon City po, Doc. EDSA.
EDSA. Okay. Siguro one of these days we'll visit you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the bottom line here, guys, the operation management, every single one of us, whether it is profit, non-profit, academe, government, operations strategy, operations management is always present. And that's a very good question from Christian because as a point of view of the government sector, he would like to determine if forecasting is appropriate or needed in his operation, or at least in the setting. So most likely, yes, as long as you deal with input, output, resources, manpower, among others, output, then especially if you deal with money as one of your resources, there you really need forecasting. Now, is there any questions before we proceed to the next part of our class? No questions? Okay. So let's give a virtual clap to our presenters. And for the future presenters, uh, we- we're expecting or to look at looking forward to your presentation. Now, this is the next stage of our class. By the way, I wrote here, just in case, in terms of forecasting, everyone knows Coca-Cola, right? So the kind of forecasting technique that Coca-Cola use is the Box-Jenkins method. So they define the market, they estimate, they diagnose, and then they forecast. So that's the reason why you never uh, uh, there's always a supply in terms of Coca-Cola products. Okay. Now, to supplement our topics for today, namely operation strategy and forecasting, I want you to do the following. So do this during your free time. Okay. I would like to uh, encourage you to watch this YouTube. It's called YouTube Entrepreneur. Actually, don't be surprised because one of the guest speaker of this episode is yours truly. I was interviewed way back. We were talking about operation strategy, and talking about operation strategy for 30 minutes is really a task. Kasi it's a very vast topic. And to cut it short for 30 minutes, it's very, very challenging. But the good thing about this episode, it's done by our professor at AIM, Professor Andy Ferreria. And what he did was he was able to break it down, the operation strategy. He breaks it down into one service-oriented company, that is where I come in, and the manufacturing, which is Tiger Machinery. Now, if you click this link, or you can do it later, I'll post it, you get to see a 30-minute video. So I want you to watch and to look at how operation strategy is being implemented using the three elements: quality, delivery, productivity. Because these three elements will normally is essential in terms of planning your operation strategy to meet the promises of your marketing department. Okay? So that's one. Now, once you watch this video, and I would like to apologize to those who don't understand Tagalog, or most of them are spoken in English. I want you to have just one page in terms of the learnings and insight you got from this video. Okay, one page, only one page. Let's make it standard. It will be font 12, okay, Times Roman, and 1.5 spacing. That's it. Now, once you're done with your paper, this will be part of your portfolio. At the end of the semester, all the papers, all the critic papers, reaction papers, case study papers will be categorized into one portfolio. But once you're done with this, I want also a copy. So please do email it to me at this email address once you are done. Okay? Um, and then let's have a tentative date. The deadline will be end of September. So you have more time to discuss among yourselves, uh, September 30. Okay, deadline. Okay, so that's number one, to supplement the operation and forecasting. Number two, um, you guys are MBA, so I think, is this a thesis track? So as early as now, that's the reason why Doc Dudes would like to teach you how to write an IMRAD paper. In preparation for IMRAD paper, the first thing that you need to do is to be familiar of how an IMRAD paper looks like. So I want you to read this paper. This will be posted in our TLC. The title is An Integrated Approach for the Selection of Operation Strategy. Now, there are new statistical treatment, statistical method that is being used when it comes to selecting operation strategy. And these are the three: the fuzzy TOPSIS, sensitivity analysis, and the MOLP. Now, for now, I know some of you or most of you does not understand what this means, but once you read the paper, it gives a brief description. And it's very, very straight to the point description. Don't worry if you don't actually understood the concept, but during the course, we are going to mention this over and over again. But the bottom line is, I want you to look at what are the new ways in terms of selection of operation strategy. Okay? So this will be posted. And again, the output, very, very simple. Only one page. What is your takeaway? What is your insight from this paper? That's it. Not longer than one page. Again, we're going to follow the font 12 times Roman 1.5 spacing. Okay? So before we proceed to the next one, any questions regarding the requirements for end of September? These both papers will be in the same deadline, September 30 or 31. Okay, any questions? Any questions? Is it clear? By the way, this is
Sir,
individual.
excuse me. So
Yes.
there are two papers to be submitted on the end of September, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
If you
thank
can
you po.
submit it before September 30, better. Because, like for instance, the video is very short, and what I'm after is your insights and takeaway or learning. Thank you, Architect Marge. So no question, very clear. Two pages, two outputs, end of September. One is a video from YouTube. One is a PDF file coming from EBSCO.
Sir,
No, three. Oh, only 30, 30. Yeah, sorry. Let's put it 30.
yung reference na to, sir, send via email or paano?
Yes, sir. It will be sent through TLC. Or, by the way, do you have a Facebook group chat in this class?
May GC kami,
Yes,
sir.
sir. GC, sir. Messenger.
Okay, so
Messenger.
include me then.
Sige,
so I
sir.
can post post this link and PDF. My Facebook is AP Pong Trinidad. Yeah. And then I will respond. Okay. Now, next week is your asynchronous. And next week our topic will be TQM and what's the other one? TQM and sorry, I forgot the name of the next topic. Who's the next reporter? Archie and
Miss Doc, design of food and product.
okay, design and food and product. Okay, what we're gonna do here is in preparation for our TQM, Total Quality Management, and of course, it covers operation strategy, forecasting. I prepared a case study, a very short case study. It will be a group work. So that's the reason why I asked earlier if you already have a group. If not, we are going to form one. And this group will be permanent, and this is for case analysis purposes. The best way to learn in a case is if you work as a group. Okay? Now, This is the case is about Cristo Rey St. Martin College Preparatory School promoting a culture of continuous improvement. So this is a very good case. Let me show you. And I will also upload this link to our group chat. Okay. Let me see to TUA. Okay. Okay. So this case, can you see? Ayan. So this case is relatively new, 2019. So it's less than 3 years. It's written by Northwestern Kellogg School of Management. And basically, this is 10 pages only. The rest, pictures lang. Okay? Yan. So it talks about this school. And very, very interesting the case. I don't want to discuss it yet, but I want you to read. And for you to understand the case, I came up with guide questions. So first, read the case. And then the learning of this case will be the following. From this case, you would see the Cristo Rey St. Martin College Preparatory School culture, in how it changed from 2004 to 2018. So operations management, yeah, we will see what was the culture and how was it changed. Number two, the learning objective of this case is to assess challenges faced in preserving an established culture. Now, would you, in every single organization, company, there's always a culture, right? Um, you can just relate it in your own company and try to look at, is there a culture in my company or organization? And the answer to that question is yes. Okay, so read the case. Try to identify what were the challenges faced. And number three, the learning objectives is I want you to evaluate key aspects in building a culture of continuous improvement. Because operation management is all about continuous improvement, especially with our global setup right now, fast paced, led by technology driven. Our customer behavior keeps on changing constantly. So those are the reasons why organization or operations management is important. And more important, to build a culture of continuous improvement. Change is very, very hard. Change is very challenging. And number four, in every single organization, there's always different stakeholders. There's customers, there's boss, students, board of trustees, among others. And each single stakeholder has different quality definition. And sometimes that definition conflicts from one another. So in this case, it is very, very interesting to identify the roles that different stakeholders have in building and maintaining a culture of continuous improvement. So I think you're going to enjoy the case. Very, very interesting. I read it. I know you're going to have a good time. And I also prepare a case question. So the first thing that you need to do, read the case once or twice. And then this time, you can answer this question. I think it's best to answer this question if you group yourselves, if you meet your group mates. And that's what we're going to do later. We're going to assign you into groups. So these are the following questions. Number one, how was the culture evolved at CRSM from its founding in 2004 until 2018? What evidence can you provide to provide the culture has shifted? And then there's exhibit one. In that case, there's several exhibits. Just try to look at the picture, see how you would interpret it. Okay? So there's a total of 6 guided questions for this case. This case will be discussed either before or after the presenters on September 24. Okay? Now, the next thing that we need to do is for you to be grouped into 4 groups, 4 members each. Now, can I ask your assistants if someone would like to nominate or to volunteer? So, or do you want me to randomly select the members? So there's this uh, no bias since I don't
Kami
know.
sir, may group na kami sir.
Okay,
Nag-chat,
sige.
nag-chat na kami behind the scenes.
Okay, so Archie, who's your group mates?
Archie, Joanna, Melanie, and Margaret.
And
Margaret.
Margaret. Did I spell it right? Margaret?
Tama ba, Margaret, di ba? Tama.
Yes po, tama po.
Okay. So group 1, okay, this will be your group whenever we have case studies. Okay? Okay. Now, may I ask group 2, anyone who would like to volunteer? Group 2. Obviously, those who are here can no longer be part of group 2. Ma'am Marge, do you want to call your group mates?
Sige, sir. Sino ba?
Sige.
Anyone can join. Group 2 ako. Sino bang gustong ka-group ako? Yan, si Marella, sir. Lovely.
Me po, please.
Who's that?
Me po.
Who?
Donna.
Donna.
Marella po.
And
Mama ko.
Christian June. Ay, sobra na. Si Christian. Christian June.
And Christian.
Christian, yes. Okay.
Thank you,
Okay,
ma'am.
so for group
Okay.
2, Marge, Lovely, Donna, and Christian. Okay. Group 3,
Thank you.
Mr. Singh, Ravender, I want you to pick your group mates. Go ahead. Who wants to be a group mate
Sarah.
of Mr. Singh? Who? Miss Amy Flores?
Me.
Huh? Who?
Sarah.
Wait. Sarah Hieronimo? No, sorry. Who's this? Miss Amy.
Thank you po.
Amy Flores. Sarah, what's your last name? Hernandez.
Hernandez.
Okay, and last one.
Marela po, ma'am, sir.
Who? Janela?
Marela po,
Ako
Janelle.
po, sir. Marella Janelle.
Janela. Okay. Okay, so group 4, who's not part of Zhang Lin? Zhang Lin is Lisa, right? Okay. Who else? Okay, Kylie Zhang. Okay. And then Haji San. Haji San. And who else?
Wendy.
Yes. Zizang and who else? Did I miss someone?
Si Wendy po.
Wendy Wu. Okay? So, everyone is part of the group. Can you double check? So, for group 1, Archie, Joanna, Melanie, Margaret. Okay? And for group 2, Marge, Lovely, Donna, Christian. For group 3, it will be Mr. Singh, Miss Hernandez, Miss Flores, and Miss Janelle. And group 4, Lisa or Zhang Lin, Kylie Zhang, Haiji San, and Wendy Wu. Did I get it right, everyone? I'll save.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, now we will end our. By the way, so read the case. I will post the case. Read the case. Answer the case accordingly, and probably I would like you to just collate, or make a written. Just make a written analysis. Okay, this is group. Okay, so at the end of the case, the output would be one paper per group regarding the answers of these guided questions. Okay, and then we will discuss this on September 24. Okay, is there any questions that you need to ask? Oh, I think Wendy Wu is also, you need to invite Wendy Wu in terms of our group chat. Please invite. GC, also Miss Donna, Jane, Sebastian. Okay. So, Ma'am Marge, make sure that everyone is included. And Soon Hai G also. Okay. According to Miss Joanna Blanco, hindi po makita, ma-add. What do you mean?
Hindi ma-add, sir.
Sino
Oo,
ako?
hindi, sir, si ano po, si Miss Jane po.
Miss Jane.
Kasama na po
Oo.
si Miss Donna Jane sa group chat.
Okay. Meron na pala.
Okay. How
Parang
about
kasama.
the group chat, Miss Ann? According to Ann, Soon Hai G should also be included. Okay. Now, it's 2:45 and I will be dismissing class early today. I would like to ask my students who has no topics yet for this class. I would like you to stay behind and we can discuss your assigned topics. Okay? The rest of you who has already assigned report, you can go enjoy your weekend. To those with no reports yet, individual report, please stand by. I will assign some topics to you. Okay? So guys, it was a first day, productive day. Enjoy your weekend. And probably let's take this opportunity to have a photo op. Can I ask everyone to open your camera so we can have a photo op? Archie is in the south, ano nga yun si Archie ata eh. Nasa South Expressway. Dahan-dahan mag-drive, Archie ah. Okay. And si Mr. Singh is somewhere on planet Earth. Are you in? Okay. Okay. So, how about Miss Ann and Haji? And Lovely. Miss Lovely, open camera. Okay. So, Donna, can you open your camera as well? Okay. So let us, on the count of 3, you smile. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Okay. So again, those with no reports or assigned report, please stand by. To those with reports, you can go and enjoy your weekend. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
sir.
Thank you po.
Okay. I would like to ask to... Okay. Okay, one moment. MBA 20921. Okay, so Mr. Haji San, where are you right now? Are you in the Philippines right now? Mr. Haji San, are you in the Philippines right now?
教授我，您现在在哪儿？在菲律宾吗
Hi, Miss Ann.
？Yeah, I'm Mr.
Hi.
Sun's assistant for his
Oh,
class.
you're the interpreter.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you are the one who guide them in terms of the English class, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Miss Anne, so that is
Mm-hmm.
Xiang Li, Miss Zhang, and Wendy Wu, right?
Yeah, I'm the assistant for Mr. Sun, and I have no connection
Ah,
for the other
with the other. Okay.
three.
Oh, you're the assistant of Haji San.
Yeah.
Okay. So, um, let me just give an assignment where he can report. Is that okay with him?
Yes.
Okay. Where is Haji San right now?
宋老师现在在哪里啊？在
Is
中
he
国吗？还是在菲律
is
宾？
he in China right now?
我吗？我在中国，
Yeah，是的。
在国内。
He's in China.
Oh, okay. He's in China. Okay. Let me just assign a topic for him. Okay. So,
Yes.
okay, one moment.
So this topic is reported individually, like Mary Ann and Marilla.
Yes, let me just. By the way, do you have the email of Miss Haji-san, or should I communicate directly to you, Miss Ann?
Yeah, he communicated directly to me.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna assign. So let me just check.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. IG. Okay, can you ask him? Is he working right now, or is he 100% student?
海杰老师现在是在工作吗？还是只是学生？
在工作。
He's working.
Oh, okay. So to make things easier for Haji-san, can he report about operation management about his company?
Yeah. 孙老师可以就自己的公司做一个这个项目管理的介绍吗？
English.
Just more on sharing, like operation strategies of his company. Like we can start with what is the name of the company, what is the overview, what is what does it do, and how is his company make sure that everything operates in an efficient and effective way. And that's it. That would be a very good report because it is coming from an international perspective.
Yeah.
Can you tell him if he can do that?
孙老师可以就自己的实际的公司和经验，介绍一下自己公司的，比如说名字，然后公司的总体规划，孙老师自己个人具体做什么，以及公司如何运行，让整个公司运行十分高效。在这几方面做一下介绍。
有点难。
对，因为 PPT 呈现出来是要英语的。
就是到时候展示的时候用英语来展示是吗？就是做一个那个时间呢？时间点。
Professor.
Yes.
Yeah. When will Mr. Sun present?
Yes. What he can do, he can present, and you can interpret, so everyone can understand.
Yeah. So when is the present day for him?
When? Okay. Let me check.
或者是你简单介绍一下，我帮你翻译也可以。
我是做那种学科培训的，就是培训数学，就教数学的。
哦，这个是就是到时候就是正式的课堂展示，
啊，就
就是像
我
今天那
就是我做个
两位同学展示的
PPT
一样。
讲关于这个的就可以了，是吧？那我要知道一个。
对对对。
Okay, let me find a date. I will give him probably longer time to prepare. How
Yeah.
about November 26?
November 26.
Yes.
孙老师11月26号安排您展示可以吗？
可以，OK。
Very good.
Yeah, November 26 will do.
November 26. Very, very basic about his company. What is the what's the company all about? What is the services, products, and then a sample of operation strategy of his company.
Yeah.
And I think the students will be very, very excited because it is an actual company and it's international. And that's a very good contribution from Haji-san.
孙老师在的公司是国际公司吗？还是就是本土的公司？
我是自己创业的。
So Mr. Sun is an entrepreneur.
Oh, good. Better.
He actually owns his own company, but is a local company.
Very
not
good.
An international one.
Yes. So that means talks about his company as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
He knows what is it all about, how he manage his company. So that's a very good, very good topic.
Okay.
November 26. Okay. So, in terms of the cases, will he understand the English reading?
Yeah, I will.
He will interpret.
For the case, there may be the machine translation is well functional.
Okay. But don't worry, if you have any difficulties, I can help you. Or let me see if I can help you in a way that I have a friend who I don't know if she can translate, but let me get back to you on that. Okay?
I'm sorry?
Is that okay? So we'll just post it.
I'm sorry. You just say you will help him with.
No, just let me know if the English case, if he can understand. If not, I will find ways if there's a possibility that someone can help him. But I'll try to find. Yes. Can you? Can he read English cases?
孙老师对于那个英文的 case，
英文的案例吗？
对，有问题吗？
指的是什么方面的案例？
因为教授作业里面有一个案例研究。
我要看一下，我好像没有看过。我要研究一下再看一下，应该还好。
He said it won't be a big problem.
Okay. Don't worry. Just let me know. We'll keep in touch through group chat.
Yeah. Thanks, Parag.
Okay. Thank you. So, Mr. Haji-san, your presentation is about your business as an entrepreneur. Just tell about your company and how you operate your company. And this will be scheduled on November 26th. So, lot of time to prepare. Okay. Shishi. Okay, how about Miss Wendy Wu? Miss Wendy Wu, are you there?
Yes.
You can go, Miss Anne and Miss Haji-san, you can go.
孙老师这边讨论好就可以退会了，如果有问题的话可以再问。
Okay, Miss Wendy Wu, do you need an interpreter, or you can manage to understand our conversation?
I'm okay.
Okay, Miss Wendy Wu, where are you at right now? Are you in the Philippines?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So, are you a Filipino nationality?
Oh, no, I'm Chinese. Oh,
Oh, Chinese.
yeah.
You have a very nice accent, very nice English accent.
Thank you.
Okay, Miss Wendy,
Mm.
tell me about yourself so I can think of a proper topic for you in terms of our class. So, are you entrepreneur like Miss Haji-san, or are you 100% student?
I'm freelance.
Okay.
Because I will do different kind of job.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're working right now.
Yes, just a little bit, not too
Where are
much
you
job. Yeah.
working? Where are you working?
I just working some reporting from the China. This is one part.
Oh, okay, okay.
And right now I just prepare to company.
Okay. So
Mm.
what kind of company are you working with?
Um to get um get people to travel and help them make a ID.
Oh, okay. So you can also present that in terms of operation strategy. Maybe you can
Mm.
share what
Mm.
you are doing. So name
Mm.
of your company, what
Mm.
you do, who are
Mm.
your clients, who are your customers, and how do
Mm.
you make sure that you
Mm.
provide excellent
Mm.
quality service. That's it. That's a good report if you want.
Okay. I will try.
Yes,
Because I just right now just these few days prepare to myself the company, so I think I can share a little bit.
yes, yes.
Not too much.
We would like to hear from you, and that would be a
Mm,
very wonderful sharing. So,
uh,
Miss Wendy, do
mm.
you think November 12 you can present? Very short,
No, November 20,
12. Or you want
12
November 26?
26 is okay.
Okay. So
Thank you.
same. Okay. So November 26, same as Haji-san. Okay. I'll put your name here. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll put it here. The name is Wendy.
Qian, I will send my Chinese name because this is my English name.
Okay. What is your Chinese name?
I send you.
Okay. You type it here in our group
Okay.
chat.
Okay.
Quen Chi Wu. Okay. Okay. Are you also in Facebook?
Oh yes, I already in our group chat.
Good, good. Okay. So,
Mm.
Wendy,
Mm.
your presentation is about your company, what you do,
Mm.
what do you do, who are your customers, and how do you make sure you provide quality service to your customers. Okay?
Okay.
That will be excellent.
Okay.
Okay.
Salamat po.
Oh, shishi, shishi. Okay.
Salamat.
How about Kali Zhang? Kali Zhang, are you there?
Yes, Doc.
Okay. So, where are you right now? Are you in the Philippines or outside the Philippines?
In Filipino.
In Philippines?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you working or full-time student?
Mm, how can I say? It's freelancers.
Freelancer.
Yes.
Okay, so let me think of a company or a topic for you. What do you mean by freelancer?
I have cooperation with medical beauty clinic.
Oh, okay. Would you like to
Mm.
report that? And
Mm,
you just tell
yeah.
about your company, you tell what you do, you tell how you manage your company, and that will be a very good discussion among our classmates. Will that be okay with you?
Yeah. It's okay for me.
Okay. So, what is this your Chinese name? Kylie Zhang?
Yes, it's my Chinese name.
Okay. So, I will also put you on the same date, November 26, okay?
No, November 26th.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then all you have to do is present the name or the company, what you do, who are your customers, and how do you manage your company. That will be a very good report since it will be coming from the uh, perspective coming from your perspective. Okay? So is that
Okay.
okay with you, Miss Kali Zhang?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. So please pay attention to our group chat. Later, I will post our pictures. I will
Mm.
post our PowerPoint, and I will post the cases so you would uh, get to watch and see and read for next week's preparation. Okay?
The next week case.
Yes, we have next week no class, but you need to study the case.
Uh, no class next week.
No class, but
So
so
until
we, we meet
what's that?
October 1.
October 1. Okay,
Yes,
sure.
but on the group chat, if you want to meet and need help, you just put I need help or can we meet and then maybe we can meet online so we can discuss the case, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any problems reading in English or it's okay?
A little.
Little difficulty.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we will practice, okay?
Sure.
Okay. So thank you. So Miss Wendy Wu and Miss Kylie Zhang, your report will be on November 26th. It's all about the company and what you're doing, and it's sharing to your students, to your classmates. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Enjoy, guys. Thank you. Nice meeting
Enjoy.
you.
Thank you.
Professor, hi. Hi, Professor. I still have a few questions.
Okay, go ahead, Miss Anne. Miss Wendy Wu and Miss Kylie Zhang, you can go.
So currently we have like 4 assignments.
Yes, you're asking about the assignments. So here,
Yeah.
number
So 2
one,
paper.
yes, number one, YouTube channel video,
Yeah.
and then one page only. You need to
Yeah.
just explain what did you learn from the video. Number
Yeah.
two, there's this reading. This one reading. This will be
Mm-hmm.
posted in our group chat. By the way, are you part of our group chat?
No.
You should be
I don't
part.
know
What
if
is your
Mr.
Facebook?
Hi JSN.
Yeah, what is your Facebook name? Do you have a Facebook name?
I don't have Facebook. I have Twitter and
Oh,
Instagram.
okay. Do you have an email
Maybe we can
address?
communicate through
Do you have
email.
email
Yeah.
address?
Yeah, I have my email address, and I
Okay.
will contact with
Can
you
can
through
you
your.
can you can you type your email address here so I can email you the requirements?
Yes, of course.
Yes. Okay. Your English is very good.
Yeah, I'm a interpreter student. So
Oh, are you in China right now or in the Philippines?
yeah, I'm in China.
Ah, China. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so
Where's your email
mhm.
address? You put it
Oh, I'm
here.
typing.
Okay, you type. Okay. Okay. Lily Butterfield 2. Is that your email address?
Yeah.
It's cute.
Thanks.
Okay. Let me just write you the email so you can. So this is MBA
Mhm.
209
Yeah.
product and operation
Operation.
management. So what I'm gonna email you first would be this one. Okay. Um, but I will also email you the link. Here's the link.
Thanks.
Okay. Hi. I'll just say hi, Anne. Okay. So number one, click the YouTube YouTube video, and basically, uh, and then the output is one page reaction paper. What
Mhm.
did you learn from the video? Number two, read the read at this title, and then I will attach the file. Okay,
Yeah, thanks.
and then output very simple. One page reaction paper. What did you learn from the article?
Yeah.
Submission will be September 30. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
September 30 submission. Submission is through email. Okay,
Mhm.
my email through email. Okay, here through email, and then I will also put it here through email. Okay, and then number three is the case study. Okay, I
Yeah,
will.
the group assignments, right?
Yes, I think I will need to break the group. I think it's important if they can be joined by other Filipino students, right? So there's an interaction.
Mhm.
I'm
The group
thinking
four is
I'm gonna ask.
are all Chinese students.
Yes, what I'm gonna do is I put Filipino students so they will interact.
Yeah, but I think the communication is a problem.
Uh, well, they need to practice their English.
Yes. But Mr. Sun for his on his companies, he's quite busy.
Oh, it's quite busy. Okay, okay. Here, I'll just send Saint Cristo, and then I'll send the integrated approach, and then I'll attach the production operation. Okay, case study. See attach group. Okay, Miss Anne, I'll be
Yeah.
sending you. Yeah. Can
Mhm.
you see or can you check if you receive my
Yeah.
email?
Wait a second. Next week is an asynchronous class.
Asynchronous. Yes. No class
Yeah.
next
Yes.
week.
So there will be no meeting.
No meeting, but use the time to talk about the case study.
Mhm. So when will they present this group work?
Next week. After wait, October 1.
October 1. Okay, I
Yes.
see.
Yes.
So they will also have to present one paper
Uh
each group.
More on discussion only. But yes, if it's possible, paper regarding their answers towards the case discussions.
Hmm. Yeah, so after the discussion with the whole class,